The year 1595. The Irish Rebellion has begun. O'Neill's break from the English meant only one thing. It was war. Throughout Ireland, O'Neill gained many allies north and south. Among them, Red Hugh O'Donnell, who since 1591, at O'Neill's request, had been communicating with King Philip II of Spain. This important Catholic ally supplied them with arms, money and military advisors. The O'Donnells were a mighty clan who ruled over the region of Tyrconnell, modern-day Donegal. Their coat of arms, a hand holding a red cross, symbolising strong work ethic and Christianity. Their motto, victorious with the sign of the cross. O'Neill had learnt from the military lessons of the Desmond Rebellion a decade prior. He knew that it wasn't enough to do as the Fitzgeralds had done and use guerrilla tactics. This would expose his countryside to destruction. No, Ulster was to be defended. The two main access points into Ulster were in South Armagh and northern Sligo. Other smaller routes were covered by bog and woodland. If the English tried to break into the province here, they would be met with thousands of musketeers in prepared positions. Among the musketeers, traditional Galloglass soldiers and horsemen. The Galloglass, meaning foreign warriors, were a class of elite mercenary warriors who were members of the Norse Gaelic clans of Ireland and Scotland. They were descendants of the 10th century Vikings who had intermarried with the local population. They were often utilised as heavy infantry to be used as a strong defence for holding a position. Gaelic leaders would often choose a Galloglass to serve as their personal bodyguard, as they would be less subject to the local feuds and influences. In May 1595, Sir William Russell, the Lord Deputy of Ireland, ordered Sir Henry Bagenal to relieve a besieged garrison at Monaghan. It was intended that the size of the expedition would intimidate the Irish. The Crown went to considerable efforts to ensure the expedition's success. 9 new companies were raised in England, and experienced soldiers were withdrawn from the Brittany garrison. Sir Bagenal had approximately 1,700 foot soldiers of pikemen and musketeers, along with a cavalry of 290 horsemen. As Sir Bagenal's column made its way to Monaghan, O'Neill sent 700 to 800 Irish troops armed with muskets to stop them. Captain Richard Cunney drew out 150 men to hold back the Irish and enable the rest of the column to pass. Cunney skirmished with the Irish for hours, then rejoined the column as the rear passed through to Monaghan. As Sir Bagenal's army neared Monaghan, the Irish besieging the town withdrew, and the English garrison was resupplied. The supply of gunpowder, however, was small, as much of it had been spent along the way. The following day, Sir Bagenal set out for the return journey, but went via a different route. This route would take him past the church of Clontibret and past hills, bogs and woods, making it ideal for an ambush. O'Neill placed soldiers on either side of the new route, but fortunately for Bagenal, O'Neill could not bring his full force to bear, since a raid in Tyrconnell caused O'Donnell to withdraw. O'Neill's army of about 4,000 strong consisted of O'Neills, Maguires and Scottish mercenaries, as well as the MacMahons. The MacMahons were the lords of Monaghan, a lineage that once ruled as kings. Their coat of arms, an ostrich, a bird they believed could digest anything, symbolising toughness. Their motto, years of fist to the dark-blooded. In 1591, the Lord Deputy of Ireland broke up the MacMahon lordship when their chieftain, Hugh MacMahon, resisted the introduction of an English sheriff. MacMahon was hanged, and his lordship divided 8 ways. Sir Bagenal deployed his men into 3 bodies, the van, battle and rear, each with a corps of pikemen supported by musketeers. O'Neill sent his brother, Cormac MacBaron, to occupy high ground on the right of the English. To the left of the English, O'Neill placed musketeers, and O'Neill himself prepared to attack the rear of the column. As the column marched through the pass, they came under fire. The Irish deployed a large force of cavalry and musketeers. To Sir Bagenal's bewilderment, the musketeers wore red coats and fought expertly. As the column passed the church of Clontibret, it fell into a major ambush. The Irish attacked the front, flank and rear with their shot, followed by horsemen and pikemen. This enabled the Irish skirmishers to pour close-range gunfire into the English from as little as 30 metres. The Irish method was for shot and horse to advance in tandem. The close cooperation of the Irish foot and horse left the English officers in a state of shock. The Irish shot advanced, fired, then retreated to reload before returning to fire again. The English column stalled and over 3 hours managed to only advance a quarter of a mile. When the head of the column reached the end of the strait, a large firefight took place, and the English column ran out of powder. They were confronted by Irish pike, shot and horse, led by O'Neill, who ordered a general advance. O'Neill moved in, hoping that a final volley would break the English formation. But just as O'Neill was about to break Sir Bagenal's units, a brave but suicidal charge by the English cavalry prevented the collapse of the English position. This was led by James Sedgreave, an officer of gigantic bone and height, who announced that he would drag O'Neill from his saddle. And with that, 40 horsemen charged straight into O'Neill. It was noted by Sir Ralph Lane that their encounter was so rude that they were both unhorsed. Sedgreave and O'Neill continued to fight on foot, with Sedgreave eventually getting the better of O'Neill. But O'Neill, wearing Jack of Plate, was well armoured. One of O'Neill's officers intervened, cutting off Sedgrieve's arm, before O'Neill finished his opponent by thrusting his sword into his groin. The English cavalry were slaughtered, but Sedgrieve's sacrifice had given Sir Bagenal the breathing room he needed to get the column moving. The Irish had blocked all the passages through the bog, but slowly the English pushed on. As night fell, Sir Bagenal called his men to a halt and camped at the hilltop of BallymacEwan. It seemed that hundreds were missing, and there was a fear that the Irish would renew the attack under cover of darkness. But there was no further attack, and soon after dawn reinforcements from Newry arrived. The casualties for Sir Bagenal's men were estimated to be in the hundreds. The casualties for the Irish were considered low. Sir Ralph Lane informed the Queen's Principal Secretary that more men were hurt and killed in that late service than was convenient to declare. The defeat shocked the English in Dublin, more so because of the modern and disciplined forces deployed by O'Neill. Lord Deputy William Russell wrote, "Their arms and weapons, their skill and practice therein, far exceeding their wonted usage, having not only a great force of pikes and muskets, but also many trained and experienced leaders, as appeared by the manner of coming to the fight." This modern and disciplined force wasn't the only thing that gave O'Neill the edge over the English. O'Neill took the modernised pike and shot force, used all over Europe at the time, and blended it with Irish warfare, which focused more on speed and flexibility. This hybrid force would go on to defeat the traditional pike and shot of the English, time and time again. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next part, and comment below what you'd like to see in future videos.